It's Wild941, wild941.com, Joey Franchize, Poppy Shampoo. And I finally got a chance to kick it with this dude on a one-on-one. I always see him out, whether he's grinding or he's out there turning up at a party somewhere. My man, Richie Wess. What's happening, player?
Yo, you already know what's going on, man. Money on the phone, money on my line.
Oh, man, that Cha-Ching record is something crazy. But I want to take it back. So before we get into that, man, I got to ask you. I've always seen you on the blogs, man. Even before I even made it down here to Tampa, I've always seen your name pop up somewhere, whether it was on DJ services, whether it was on the blogs. I mean, you've just been putting in work for some time now, bro. Tell me about it, man. How did it all get started?
Man, we've been grinding for a minute, man. It all got started with me, Young Dread, and DJ Spinatic, man. We started our kind of like a coalition of things that we was gonna do, from him DJing and us doing the music. And we always networked with everybody, always stayed up to the time, like, of what was going on in regards to promotion, whether it would be the street grind, the digital grind. We always make sure we had a presence in each platform. And bro, we just stay consistent and kept it moving, man, and that's where we at now.
And I love the grind, man, and the team is very strong, man. I always see you guys out, and trust me, the presence is definitely felt. And I love how you say that you always kept up with the times. You've managed to collab with guys like, Richie the Kid, who actually you're going on tour with now. Right. You also got Fat Joe on deck. Like, dude, like how these relationships? You know what I'm saying? Like, what advice do you give to people that are coming up, like, in the rap game and just trying to get these, networks and, what I'm saying, trying to build with artists of that caliber?
Man, Boosie touched on it a lot in a post that he did. He was just talking about just being around people, and when you're around them knowing your presence and also presenting something that could be beneficial not only for you but also for them. A lot of people do things only with the intentions of it being instantly beneficial for them. You know what I mean? So I dealt with a lot of situations where I kind of played the back, but for a relationship that money can't buy, you know what I mean, loyalty and a real foundation. Like, we toured with Dej Loaf. We did records with Gucci Mane, Young Buck, The Game, Lloyd. We pretty much worked with Rich the Kid, of course, Kevin Gates. We worked with Young Dolph right before he popped off. Me and Rich the Kid, we actually started maybe about 6 years ago. We did a record together called 100 Band Jug. But before that, he used to send Spinatic records when he was Black Boy the Kid. And that's going straight through the Street Runners format. We met him. We did his first tour. We routed the whole thing with him from North Carolina down to Florida.
Oh, wow.
And after that, it was like a relationship that anytime he was progressing, we were doing bigger things with the progression. Whether it be now, we're not dealing with certain markets, but we're dealing with tours and routing after parties. So we always stay open to every lane. That's why I say in Cha-Ching, I'm trying to get it each and every way. I'm not limiting myself as an artist, executive, or a manager. I'm doing everything that involves the bag. You feel me?
Yo, and I really respect that, man. That's a real boss up move right there, man, on your part, man. Just to have your hand in every, aspect of the industry, whether it's booking artists, whether it's you yourself going in and setting up your studio times and stuff.
Yeah, all
and
of
these relationships actually led to you and Metro Boomin, who's actually popping in the game right now as far as producers. And you guys dropped a project not that long ago.
Yeah, man. Metro Boomin, we actually worked 3 years ago on a record called Pull Up. It was me, Cap One, Syrie the Kid, Young Dread, and it was actually a record for Spinatic's project. We had as producers, you get a lot of producers that shop their records. Metro shops his record just like any other producer. For all you producers out there, shopping your record to everybody, you know what I mean? So we had packages of Metro stuff 3 years ago, so the opportunity where he was doing a lot of collabs with like Zaytoven and these different producers, TM 808, Southside.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to collaborate on each one of the tracks. What's unique about the Richie Boomin project that we dropped is every track is not just Metro on it. We got Metro and Zaytoven on the intro. We got Metro and Southside on the second track. We got Metro and TM 808 and he just did collaborations throughout the project. So it's a good eclectic, movement and sound from Metro. So go check that out.
And it's good and it's dope because the fact that you're collabing with these producers, and even when I got a chance to listen to the Metro, the Richie Boomin collaboration with Metro, like, dog, like even your sound, it's not your typical Southern sound, and
Right.
which is dope because me from being from up north, like it has that distinct up north feeling, but with a South vibe,
I'm telling
and
you,
it's
man.
and I think that's really what's kind of missing in a way in the game as far as like for Southern artists. So
You know who
to
used
have
to
a
do
different
that?
sound is crazy.
You know who used to do that to me? I think 50 when he first came out.
Yeah.
He had a sound that didn't sound like I'm just straight New York. It
Right.
sounded like he had it. You know what I mean? Even when he would say things like, I'm in this thing, man. That's it, man.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a different feeling. And a lot of people from up north, they have family. A lot of people are stems. Like my grandfather was from Mobile, Alabama, went to New York for work, met my grandmother, and now my father is a first generation New Yorker. You know
Wow.
what I mean? So there's those type of influences heavily out there too. You know what I mean? Rich the Kid's even from Queens.
Yeah, it was
And-
funny when
and
I
you know
talked to
what
him
I
about that. Yeah.
And he moved down to Atlanta at 9, so his sound, you're never gonna get like that Atlanta sound.
Right.
Like I was born in Queens, but I came down to Tampa when I was young. So I got a lot of influence just from go visiting family, going out there and vibing. My pops living out there, going out there for the summer. So all of that contributed to the character that I am. You know what I mean? So you might hear me on the record with Fat Joe, and it don't sound like nothing a Tampa dude would ever do.
Right.
You feel me? Then you hear me on the record with Lil Key, and then it's a Tampa turn up. So it's that I embrace everything that made me. I mean, it makes me who I am.
And that's cool. It's like you're a chameleon, man. You kind of adapt to like where you at and
Word.
who you're collabing with at the time, which is dope. And speaking of Fat Joe, man, like how's that? Just getting in the studio with him and just a living legend in the
Classic.
game, bro. It's
Legendary.
iconic way.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Special cloth talk with Joe. You know what's crazy about Joe? Every time I'm around him, bro, he like Joe's a storyteller. Like this dude would tell you the stories, like everything you could possibly think of in the industry. He sits down and tell you, and he's open. Like when I first met Joe, I met him, and this all goes back to timing, patience, and things like that. When I first met Joe, it was when Christian was DJing for him.
Okay.
He was DJing at a spot in St. Pete, close to Sweet Six, and he was doing a birthday event. And when he did it, I met Joe for the first time, but Macho was there. This was probably 7
I know
years ago.
Macho.
It was a whole like they were so militant with it. You know what I mean? Like Joe moved here, boom. So now being around Joe and being inside the circle, going out to eat with him, his family, his daughters, actually listen to him as a big homie, like, oh, yo, man, Rich, if we gonna do this, this, and this, introduced me to the whole team. Ellis, his manager, Ellis Pacheco, is like my big homie. I hit him for anything.
Right.
Uncle Dan is like, you feel me? This is all fam. So but by the time I just cut the record with Joe, it was so much foundation laid and so much I see what you're doing. Let me show you how much I see what you're doing. It was like the payoff to all the preparation and time that we were naturally building something with nothing expected. I wasn't expecting to say, hey, Joe, man, I didn't bother him.
Right.
I was playing records in the whip, and Joe was like, yo, what's that? You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, something you need to be on. It sounded like that one. So it's just blessed, man. I'm blessed, bro. And he's up for 2 Grammys, so hopefully he bring that home and we go all the way up against 2017.
What's some of the best advice Joe's given you, like as far as being in the industry?
Stay consistent. Joe been in the game 20 years. Joe, as a Puerto Rican artist in this hip hop game, he talks about that all the time. Him being the minority and being able to be as consistent. Everybody gave up on him. Said he wouldn't be able to top anything, lean back or any of his hits. He came back with all the way up, 20 years in the game.
There you go.
How has that? So he just shows me, stay consistent, stay humble. He does a lot of things where he deals with a lot of his managerial, but him being independent with a #1 record, that's crazy.
Huge.
You know what I mean? He just shows me how to really level my playing field in this as me being an independent boss myself. I watch a lot of things, and I more learn off of actions than a person telling me directly. He never sat me down and said this, and this.
Right.
But from the summary of all of our engagements, I learned a lot from him. It's priceless. You feel me?
So that basically taught you how to like respect the independent game a little bit more and not have to rely on the label? Do you
Oh,
look?
word.
Are you looking to sign with a label? Or you just
I
focused
mean,
on just the brand right now?
yeah, everything is based off of opportunity. I've been presented with label deals before, just off of having records, and it was all up on whatever was going on currently in the industry. It was like cats was doing snap music, cats was doing this and that. It was no right way to get in. You know what I mean? And I had Universal, Motown, cat Nigel Mack reach out for me, A&R, Russ Jones from Sony BMG, and these were all single deals based off a record that I had with Sammy. Right after Kiss Me Through the Phone came out, I did a record with Sammy.
Okay.
I went and did my street promo, hit different markets. I hit up radio promoters, and we end up being the number 56 on Billboard. We were number one in Corpus Christi. We were number one in Port Arthur, Texas. So it was like we were going and doing that, and I was hit up about a single deal, and I was like, it's no real money.
Yeah.
So it's really a distribution aspect. So now I look at it a lot different. Like if I do a major deal, I would want to do it where it's the machine believing in everything that we have to offer and really pushing it. And I mean, distribution right now, independent distribution, like you got Empire, Sony Red. These are big
names,
big, drums under Empire, a subsidiary of Atlantic. Joe's actually distributed by Empire.
Yeah. So
they have a strong team down there. And that's another way to go, man. So the industry's forever evolving, man. You just got to stay in tune with it.
And I got to ask you, too, I mean, you've pretty much collabed with every hot producer and hot artist in the game. Like, who are some of the people that you look forward to working with on, like, upcoming projects or singles?
Yeah, definitely I want to get something with Future. Future is like, I got to rock with what I listen to. You feel me? I listen to Future. Like, a lot of records that he does, I'm like, yeah, man, I feel him. It's motivational. Just as a check in my list, in my to-do list, man, would love to work with Nas. Grew up listening to him. My uncle was kind of like a big brother to all of us because he was my dad's youngest brother. Yeah. So he used to listen to Big L.
Classics, man. Harlem,
you know what I mean?
There.
Biggie, Nas. Used to even do the half moon in his fade like Nas. And so that would be just classic just because I appreciate all the body of work.
It's nostalgic right there.
Hip-hop. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So, and this right here that you're embarking on with Rich the Kid, the Keep Flexing tour, is this the first time you've been on tour, like on a full run like this? Because you've set these things up before.
Yeah, we did a tour, me and my brother. We did a project called My Brother and Me 2 years ago. We did a tour that was actually where we went to 14 markets, and then we did a meet and greets with DTLR. It was sponsored by DTLR. And it was dope. So that was like the first time that we actually went out by ourselves. This is the second time I'm going on tour with Rich the Kid. Other than that, I've been touring just off of being around, moving with the entourage, so to say, like with Joe and shit. So I've seen a lot of shit. But as far as me displaying my talents and actually routed as a performer straight up, this is the second one.
Oh, man, this is dope, man. What can we expect more in 2017, man? I know you just dropped the, Richie Boomin project last year towards the end. And what can we expect now, man? We got Cha-Ching out.
Yeah,
what's the next project?
Man. Well, we're shooting a video for Cha-Ching. I got a whole lot of records that I've been holding on. Some dope features, some dope just new music, period, new producers. So I'm thinking about putting together an EP and dropping it as long as the timing and everything. But right now I'm just moving on this single, and everybody keeps telling me it's going to be a big deal. So this is the first time I kind of felt that feeling, not only from people around me on the daily, but other people that I respect in the industry telling me like, yo, man, apply the pressure on this one. Yeah. So I'm just going to see how that plays out, man. So we just going to keep running it up, man, getting to it.
No doubt, man. I remember you came in the studio and was telling me, Joe, man, I got one. I was like, yo, when I heard it, man, as soon as that beat kicked in, whoo.
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah.
God. So shout out to Richie Wess, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you putting on for the city once again. And thank you for stopping through, dog.
Anytime, man. Let's get it.
All right, man. Make sure you check him out on the Keep Flexing tour with him, Rich the Kid. And, of course, it's Wild 94.1, wild941.com.